Okay. And so, and this is a story about bagels. It's a story of bagels. It's a story that I'm going to bring you back to Brooklyn in the 1960s. And it's a story about Moishele, who's a sweet 10-year-old boy in Brooklyn. And he's a wiry kid, you know. His mother tried to fatten him up to put food in him, but to no avail, you know. It's just really difficult to get food in him, you know. And she would say, "Ess, mein Kind, eat, my child," you know. But whatever he ate, it wouldn't put any weight on him. So his mother used to put coins on the washing machine, knowing that if he got hungry, he could go out of the house and around the corner and go to the bagel bakery and get a couple of bagels and have something to eat. And he would do that from time to time. So one day, he grabs some coins from the washing machine, puts it in his pocket, leaves the house, and goes around the corner. Now, as soon as he turns the corner, he could smell the bagels, because anyone who's ever had any experience with bagel bakeries, from a block away, you can smell the bagels, fresh bagels. So he's already smelling the bagels, and he walks straight, following his nose, to the bagel bakery. As soon as he gets into the bagel bakery, he gets online, and eventually he gets to the counter. And behind the counter is Sammy, the owner of the bagel bakery. And Sammy sees him and he says, "Oh, Moishele, you know, my favorite customer. What will you have today?" And Moishele says, "I think I'll have a plain bagel, thank you." And Sammy says, "A plain bagel? Not a salt bagel and not a poppy bagel, not a bagel with everything on it? Are you okay? Maybe I should feel your head. Are you a little sick? You know, so it's like, I don't understand." And Moishele says, "No, I'm fine. I just want a plain bagel, please." And Sammy reaches behind, gets a nice fresh bagel, puts it in a bag, folds the end of it, puts it on the counter. Moishele reaches into his pocket, puts the coins on the counter. Moishele takes the bag and holds it, and he stands there. Sammy says, "No? Anything else I can help you with?" And Moshele says, "Yes, I have a question." And Sammy says, "Well, what's the question?" And Moshele says, "You know, when you eat the bagel, when you finish the bagel, what happens to the hole?" And Sammy looks at him and says, "What a question! A Talmud Chacham, a smart boy. I can't believe, you know, I've had this store for 15 years. No one has asked me that question before. This is the deepest of the deep. This is deep. But you know, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you what the answer is. But what you need to do, you know, I'm going to call Mordecai, my assistant, to be by the register. I'm going to come by and take you, and we'll go into the back of the store, and there are two seats, and you'll sit down in one, I'll sit down in the other, and I'll tell you exactly I'll tell you what you need to know. So he comes and gets Moishele, and he brings him to the back, and he says, listen, Moishele, you have to listen really carefully at everything that I say, and follow these instructions completely, just as I say them. He says, "Okay, when you go home, you're going to take the bagel out of the bag. You're going to take the bagel out of the bag, and and you're going to take a bite of it, and you're going to eat that the first bite, and then you're going to turn the bagel, and you're going to eat the second bite. It's going to be so good because it's a fresh bagel, and so warm." And you continue on the bagel, taking bites and bites and bites until you get to the last piece of the bagel that's left that's not in your tummy. And when you get that last piece of the bagel, I want you to do this and hold on to the hole and keep your fist really tight because the hole is going to be inside your hand. And then I want you to run back to the store. Do this exactly. Okay, go. Go. And he did. He went back home. He ate his bagel very carefully, just do the every instruction, and he ran back to the store. And when he ran back to the store, he was so excited. He got online. He was so nervous, he almost felt like he had to pee. He got to the counter. Sammy's there. And Sammy says, "No, you haven't?" Moishula showed him his hand and said, "Okay, show me." And Moishula opened up his hand. He looked in his hand. He said, "Oh, I must have done something wrong. There's nothing there, garnished. Nothing. Nothing. Maybe it fell through my fingers. What happened? I thought I would have the hole." He was almost in tears. Sammy said, "Listen, I'm going to get Mordecai here in front of the register, and we'll go back, we'll go back in the back, and I'll explain to you what's happening." So he came to get Moishla. They sat in the back of the store, one seat for him, one seat for the other. And Sammy says to Moishla, "Listen, I want you to see your hand again." He opened his hand. Look, I see something in your hand, And what I see in your hand is what's in the whole world. There's plenty of it in the whole world, And it's in your hand too, because if you see really, I can see it. And I'm going to have to train you to see it too. What I see in your hand is I see hope. Hope is everywhere. Hope is, the whole world is filled with hope. The world couldn't exist for a single moment without hope. Afila rega achad, even a single second, it couldn't exist without hope. There's hope when your grandma is sick and you want her to get better. You have hope there. When you have your briefcase of books with your homework and you lose it somewhere and you want to find it, you have hope that you're going to find it. And when your mama and papa are arguing, you have hope that they'll kiss and make up. Things would be better. Hope is everywhere, Moshele, and you have to remember that. And you can't forget that for a single second. When you look through a bagel, anytime you look through a bagel, you look through the hole in the bagel, you'll see hope. Hope is everywhere. And may you never, never, ever lose hope.